accurate and
Let him
non-partisan
cook.
all-time ranking.
Let's see what you got,
because
Jimmy.
the rankings get really weird really fast. For example, Box Plus Minus has Nikola Jokic as far and away the best player of all time. It also has Luka Doncic 4th, David Robinson 6th, and Tim Duncan 19th. But in the right hands and with enough data, and when used in conjunction with one another, a purely data-driven approach.
Joker might be the best of all time one day, bro. If he keep winning rings and MVPs, he's on the right track, bro.
When he created his
Because Jokic could have won 5 MVP, bro. The fact that he could have won 5 MVP is insane to me, bro. That means he's one of the best of all time as well. He just needs to get another ring. If Jokic get another ring, bro, I'm joining the riot, bro. He's definitely top 10 of all time right away. I don't care.
His top 40 list. As Ben says when describing his methodology, I won't attempt to balance Kobe's championships with Shaq, nor do I care about accolades like all-star teams or the number of Hall of Fame teammates someone played with. I also don't care about how many rings a player won. The very thing I'm trying to tease out is who provided the most lift. Instead of trying to assign value to things like rings and MVPs, Ben's list ranks players based on who provided the largest increase in the odds of a team winning a championship over the course of their
LeBron
career.
and Jordan gotta be there. Jokic as well.
Reasoning is probably the best
Why
outcome
didn't
when
see
it comes to
Giannis?
seeking an objective ranking, using the best advanced metrics available and using them logically to find the most accurate conclusion. The results of this experiment were eventually updated in 2022 and are
Holy
generally
shit.
accepted as a really solid list without the outliers or massive holes that other lists have.
Damn.
The only problem
But
is
Curry's not
Curry's
even top 20?
that other lists have.
Oh,
The only problem is, this is not an all-time player ranking. As Ben stated, this list is a player evaluation, not necessarily a ranking of the greatest players of all time. And it's evaluating how good these players were, their abilities and their effectiveness in using those abilities, not how great they were or what they accomplished. A great exercise in determining which players had the largest impact on the court, but not the best method in determining how that impact actually translated to tangible
bro,
success.
my brain gonna
For example,
explode,
this
bro. I'm
method
already
is providing
tired.
evidence that Karl Malone
All that
had
shit
a
getting in my
larger
brain,
statistical
bro.
impact than Stephen Curry over the course of his career.
16?
But I'm not
Oh, he
sure
was
there's a
there.
single
That was just
human being on
insane.
planet Earth that would argue Karl Malone is greater than Steph is. Using purely statistics and data to rank players removes valuable context that certainly matters when evaluating how great they were throughout their career. However, allowing awards and achievements to partially dictate rankings will inherently skew the results due to personal bias and variance of opinion. So looking at it through
It's
either
really
of
hard.
these
He's
lenses
right.
will lead you to inaccurate results. But maybe we're looking at this through the wrong lens altogether. We as fans are going to be biased. It's the very nature of being a fan. My team's great and they can do no wrong. So if we need to factor everything in, but we cannot do that without inserting some sort of
shout out to
bias,
the Pacers,
what if
bro.
instead of trying to remove all bias from the equation, we factor this bias into the equation by asking fans what it is they value most when ranking players? If the accuracy of the rankings is determined by the fans, then so should the criteria. Well, that's exactly what this Reddit user did. Back in 2020, an NBA fan on Reddit took it upon himself to survey other NBA fans, 662 of them to be exact, on not just what's important to them in terms of greatness, but even what kind of fan they are. Among some of the questions asked were, how long have you been watching the NBA for? The most popular answer was 6 to 9 years. On a scale of 1 to 10, how big of a fan of the NBA are you? Over 80% of the results being at least an 8 out of 10. But here's where things get interesting. One of the questions asked was, what do you think is more important in a player's career? Team success or individual
almost
success?
50-50.
52% of voters said team success and 48% said individual success. Almost an even 50-50 split between NBA fans in response to a very important question with two very different answers. Even more revealing, voters were asked what are the top 3 most important measures when evaluating who the greatest of all time is. The number 1 answer? Career stats, followed by number of championships, number of regular season MVPs, total win shares, and career advanced statistics.
That's fair enough.
50-50 split between the importance of team success versus individual success visible in the almost even voting split between career stats and number of championships. One person can make their rankings based on how good a player was, meanwhile another person could make their rankings based on how much success a player had. Two completely different criterias. So how exactly can we make a player ranking that is agreed upon if we can't even agree on what actually matters, or at least what matters most? No matter what approach you take, no matter how much personal bias or opinion you try to take out of it, the results will always end up skewed in some sort of direction. There's just too many factors, difference in opinion, difference in what matters most from fan to fan. But there is one way, one method that has been proven to be the best way to get to
bro, I can barely stay awake right now.
Things otherwise not
I feel like I'm high or something. No, I'm just tired, bro.
Method? It's the exact one
don't mind me.
Used.
Just enjoy the video.
Have you ever seen the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire right now.
It was a game show where contestants would answer a series of multiple choice questions, with each correct answer winning them more money and progressively getting more difficult.
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
Eventual $1 million question.
I think I've seen it on
This
Instagram
game show
or
would
something.
feature one sole contestant at a time who had to answer these questions by themselves. However, each contestant was granted what were called lifelines, tools the contestant could use to help them answer difficult questions. These 3 lifelines were 50-50, eliminate 2 of the 4 options in a multiple choice question, leaving the contestant with a 50% chance of getting the right answer. Phone a friend,
fire.
where the contestant could call a friend live on the show for help. And the third one was Ask the Audience, where each member of the audience would vote on what they thought was the correct answer to any given question. All of these lifelines were valuable, but one of them in particular resulted in the correct answer far more than the others. The 50-50 lifeline, as the name suggests, got contestants to the correct
in 1999, what animal was taken? I don't know.
Answer about 50% of the time. Phoning a friend, suggests, got
Falcon.
Contestants to the correct answer.
I'm just saying anything. I don't know.
The time. Phoning a friend
I'm probably wrong.
Resulted in contestants getting the correct answer 66% of
I'm
the
not
time.
American,
But
so I wouldn't know.
Asking the audience resulted in the correct answer 92% of the time. By far, the most accurate method of coming to the correct answer for any question in the show's history. And this is a demonstration of a concept known as the wisdom of the crowd, an idea that refers to the collective judgment of a group of people often being more accurate than the judgment of any single individual, even an expert. And it is an incredibly accurate method of arriving on the correct answer to any logical question. In 2011, the BBC network put this concept to the test by filling a jar with jelly beans and asking 160 contestants how many jelly beans they thought were in the jar. The answers were absolutely insane, ranging from 500 to 50,000. And yet somehow their collective average was unbelievably close to the actual number. After conducting their experiment, it was revealed
400.
that there were exactly 4,510 jelly beans in the jar.
Guys, what I wanted to say was 4,000. It's just that my English is not really good right now. So I say 400 by accident. I'm telling you, bro. I'm still learning English.
4,515. Despite their variance in answers, on average, the participants were able to get within 99.9% of the correct answer. By aggregating the opinions or estimates of many individuals, the errors and biases of individual judgment tend to cancel each other out, leading to a collective result that is closer to the truth. And in possibly the most
I'm one of them.
I could
I don't have a
up,
brain.
I think this same exact concept can be applied to ranking NBA players on an all-time list.
Thank God I got
Regardless
a PC,
of what
man.
the individuals value most and our own personal bias, if you ask enough people, chances are you'll more than likely end up at an accurate result. Better than strictly using stat-based metrics, better than the eye test or a combination of multiple factors. Simply asking people who the greatest players of all time are will show you exactly who the greatest players of all time are. And evidence of this can be found within the results of Bleacher Report's ranking. Someone ranked Kobe Bryant 18th all time. Their personal top 100 ranking is probably a little wacky, but this vote inadvertently balances out someone else who voted Kobe 4th all time. Same goes for every single player on this list. Someone had Jokic 12th all time, another voter had him 28th, and everyone else had him somewhere in between. The range of votes for Charles Barkley are probably the largest of any player on this list, with one vote for him as the 18th greatest player and another with him as the 74th greatest player. With individual rankings like this, you'd think the final
ring
result
is just
would
fucking
be a
him
mess,
up, bro.
and
That's
yet
the thing.
Barkley ended up being ranked 25th all time, right about where he should be. Can we make a completely accurate ranking of the greatest NBA players ever? Well, we can get really close. In terms of how we would create it and what it would look like, you're looking at it. This isn't a matter of opinion, it is a statistical principle. As Bleacher Report put it, when
Jordan
describing the
number 1,
methodology,
LeBron number
it's
2.
an impossible task, especially when confronted
That's
with the
probably what
reality
most
of
people
comparing
think.
players from different eras. Stats help.
You really
but
all it is, bro. I
calculators
don't think it's
won't
gonna
ever
change.
figure all this out.
People
But
just
asking
gotta
enough
accept it.
people just might.
Damn. What a video, Jimmy. What a fucking video, bro.